way you move.
I like the way you do it. I like the way you do. I like the way you move it. I like the way you move. I like the way you move. I like the way you move. If you want me, want it could if you want.
Hey guys, we are back at it again. Welcome to Hot Topics with Jaden O'Neal. And we are still on a Diddy alert, alright? So we have a lot to talk about because I was not here yesterday. So I have a lot to talk about in regards to Diddy and his trial. Now, yesterday, they tried to strike Dr. Hughes' testimony because they felt that she was a serial witness and not an actual doctor. Which I think is actually quite hilarious because if you think about it, when people get to a certain area of their profession or where they're at in their career, they don't do the day-to-day things that a lot of other people would do. So let's say a professor or something like that. They're a professor for 20 years and then they get to that level to where they're not a typical professor where they have all the incoming students. They may have, I moved up, so now I only have graduate students. That's all I deal with now, are the graduates, not the undergrad or things of that nature. So it does make sense to where people do mature in their career. So maybe she's done all that forensic stuff and everything like that back in the past. But now she's doing testimonies and research for a prosecution or maybe a defense or maybe something like that. So I think that was a little bias on the defense part in regards to that, trying to say, we want her testimony thrown out because she's a career witness and not an actual doctor. So I think that the defense is going to try to throw out anything to try to have a mistrial. If you notice, they tried to do it with Cassie. They kept her on the stand for a day and a half more than what they needed to. And I think they were even attempting to try to get her to be there that following Monday. Because if you remember, she ended on a Friday. And the way they were trying to broach the questions and tell people about what was happening, they was we may need more questions. And the judge was look, wrap this up because y'all not talking about nothing but free calls. We're talking about free calls and domestic violence. And even though all of that is very permanent to the trial, but it's not at the same time, that's not what he's being charged for. He's not being charged for a free call, and he's not being charged for domestic violence. Because unfortunately, the DV charge is just not there anymore. The statute of limitations have ran its course. So you kind of have to move on with that. You can't keep on doing that over and over and over again, right? So Capricorn Clark took the stand yesterday. And she was interesting. And I still don't know how to feel about her. I got where she was going with things, but then it was just are you a woman scorned? Are you? I don't know. But anyway, she basically met Diddy in 2002 in New York City, right? Apparently there was some type of group called the Jennifer Group back then, and they were doing stuff for entertainment type of jobs, and they would do an outreach and try to pull people who would be perfect for the position. Apparently Capricorn was solicited for something of the sort, and she actually contacted Diddy, and she was like, hey, I think I just applied for a job. I think it's with Bad Boy, but are you actually hiring? And Diddy was like, well, I am hiring. I think I did, and I think the team did put out a job with them. Would you work with me? And she was like, yeah, I will work for you. So they had a bunch of meetings, and they ended up meeting, right? she ended up taking a job. So she started off as Diddy's like personal assistant. She worked her way from personal assistant to being like a marketing, like the director of marketing for Sean Sean. Then she became the global brand ambassador for Sean Combs. It was just a lot that she kept working her way up the totem pole to get to where she wanted to be. And I commend her for that because a lot of times now, people don't understand that you have to do the groundwork to get to where you want to be. You can't come in saying, oh, I've done this, I've done that, but you have no real experience in this arena. And she worked her way up from the ground. She was a personal assistant. So let's go back to her first day as a personal assistant, because this is where the Jedi mind trick happens. So apparently, Capricorn had a relationship that was tied to Suge Knight. And everybody knows Suge Knight don't like Diddy, Diddy don't like Suge Knight, blah, 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 blah. We're not going into that because right now that doesn't matter. So apparently Diddy found out that she had a connection to Suge Knight. So apparently he took her to Central Park. I believe they went to a restaurant called Tavern on the Green, or they were outside of Tavern on the Green or something to that nature. And he basically threatened her and was like, if I hear basically anything to do with you and Suge Knight or Suge Knight knowing something about my business, I will kill you. That's what he said. That's what she said on the stand, people. Okay? So I'm like, your first day, you're threatened. You're threatened on your first day. Okay. So then we keep on moving. She basically works her way up. And, she's working on her totem pole. Then she becomes friends with, well, not friends with Cassie, but she becomes friendly with Cassie, right? Because Diddy is dating Cassie. So during the time frame, she became, I don't know if she was like I'm trying to think. I forgot what they said, what she actually was to Cassie. Maybe like a creative director or something of that nature. Like it was very like a little murky from the information I was getting. So forgive me on that part. But she ended up working with Cassie, and Cassie was basically like a bee to her to a certain degree. She was very assertive. She wasn't meek. She wasn't mindful of the mirror. How they want us to believe Cassie was. She was very much in control. And she knew what she wanted. So, and that's perfectly fine. Like, you're dating, that's what I think people need to understand. You're dating the owner of your record label, who is a mogul. Not, he's some regular record exec or some marketing agent or something like that. He is the owner of Bad Boy Records, Sean John. He has these huge alcohol deals with DeLeon and Ciroc and all this other things. So he has clout. He has power. There's like, he is the boss of all bosses. There's nobody else after that. Like, he is the top, So I get it. Like, if I was dating Diddy, I'd be running hoes. Get me this. Get me that. I want this. Now, could I be in freak offs with it? I don't know. I don't know. Cause I've asked people this, and I've asked straight people, heterosexual people. I've asked homosexual people. I've asked guys. I've asked girls, and I get everybody to a degree has said yes, they would be a part of it to get the money and to move on. They wouldn't be stuck in it, But I'm like, well, how do you get out of it? You know what I mean? Like, how do you actually get out of a situation like that? So going back to Capricorn and talking about how situations on how you would actually get out of it, she kept getting fired, but kept coming back. She would be fired, and then Diddy would be like, "Oh, I got a job for you," or she would reach out to Diddy, and she basically was saying that she had nowhere else to go because he was literally blackballing her in the music industry. All she knew at this time now was music. So there is everyone knows the job market is very critical and it's very niche based because we want somebody with this, we want somebody with that. If you haven't been in this arena for the last 5 to 7 years, we don't want you. Like, we need to know what else you can do and what you can do and what you can move and what's going to make you shake. And that's perfectly fine. I get it. I definitely get it. Like, I understand that people need to be able to basically understand where your mindset is. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? So she was just having a grand old time over at Bad Boy. Like, she would go back, she would get fired. She would go back, she would get fired. She would go back, she would get fired. And she just kept on getting, when she would come back, she would get a higher position. Come back, get a higher position. Come back, get a higher position. Hey, what can I say? She was doing what she needed to do, right? So I can't ultimately fault her for that, you know? And then she was also saying that she was a part of the arson charge against Kid Cudi in his car. And she was actually the female that was there. And if you know, with the Kid Cudi information, there was a Molotov cocktail that was placed either next to the car or on top of the car. I can't quite remember. Somehow it went wrong. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. So they were able to get DNA off of it, right? They got the DNA off of it, but they were only able to confirm that it was a female's DNA. They could not confirm if it was what female because it was so badly damaged. And it was just like, wow. Okay. And this is the thing that a lot of people are now talking about now is the trial is moving along, but what is it really depicting of Diddy? What has the prosecution actually done to say Diddy is guilty of the things he's being charged for? Even when it comes to the arson, Diddy never admitted it. The victim, Kid Cudi, could not say Diddy admitted it. He saw Diddy do it. He knew Diddy did it. No. The only thing they have is basically Diddy telling Kid Cudi that he was sorry for what took place between them years prior in regards to the situation with Cassie, him dating Cassie, them getting into it about her and everything of that nature. But he never admitted to the arson. So at this point, it's like, how do you convict somebody on arson based off of hearsay? How do you do it? Legally, can you do it? I don't know. You tell me. Because I don't know. But if I remember correctly, Capricorn told them that she had the Molotov cocktail, or she was left outside and the men went inside. So what happened? Like, what happened? What's going on? I need more, and I feel like all the stuff is so choppy because we're not able to watch it live or to watch what's happening. So we're getting little bits and pieces. And I actually want to say this. I want to shout out to Sherelle's World and Armand Wiggins for their coverage of this trial. I want to say thank you because I watched both of you guys. Like, I listened to Sherelle during the day, getting the scoop on the trial, and then I listened to Armand later on at night when he does his recap. And the fact that they're this committed to being at this trial, I hands down, I commend you both, because I don't know if I could do it. Like, Sherelle's World is literally 3 hours behind us, if I'm not mistaken. And she goes on every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Okay? Gets on there, listen to the reports, follow the news and everything. It reports to you literally from 9 Eastern to 3, sometimes 4 or 5 p.m., depending on when court ends. And I commend her for that. I commend her and Perry for that, because that is not an easy feat for you to be at home and commit to being on live for that long of a time. I also want to shout out, like I said earlier, Armand, because he's actually in there, in the actual courthouse doing this. And hands down to you as well, because I do not know if I could have done that. And the fact that you are in there the entire length of the trial, all day, every day, and you come back, get on your thing, and then give us a full recap of what's happening. Because you're there, so you're getting more information than any of us are going to get, because you're physically there. You can see the expressions on people's face. You can see how people are talking. You can see how people are doing different things. So I commend you on that. And your storytelling of what is happening in there is subpar. Okay? I mean, not subpar. It's superb. I'm sorry, Armand. I meant superb. It is A1, all right? I also want to give a mention to my other person that I listen to all the time, that I watch, Make It Make Sense. You are a class act, and you were there too in the actual courthouse, listening to people and getting all the information and running it back to us. So I definitely appreciate it. Listening to your take on it, Armand's take on it, because you guys were both there. Loved it. And I was just like, and I love the camaraderie of all of you guys. Like, I was starting to see posts from you and Armand hanging out with other bloggers and YouTubers and content creators that were there. That was amazing. So I definitely I love camaraderie. I love it. So I definitely love it. So today, Deonte Nash took the actual stand, and this was actually Cassie's stylist, and he was a whole key. Okay, from what I could tell, he was hilarious. He did not want to be there. He made it known he did not want to be there. He was just like, "What y'all want? Like, let's get this over with. Like, let's go. Let's get to it." And I understand, because nobody wants to be subpoenaed to tell someone else's story. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could be like, oh, yeah, they had that little issue. They had these issues. But I don't want to tell you verbatim what happened and all this other stuff. And I get it. So Deonte was basically just telling how he was working with Cassie and doing things, and how everything he did for Cassie, like her look and everything, had to be approved by Diddy. So this is now starting to tie into how Diddy was very controlling. This is how they're trying to make it. I don't know how well they can do this, because Diddy was her boyfriend, right? But Diddy was also her boss. And you have to understand that. that he is in both realms of it with her. Is you're my girl, but I'm your boss. I need to be thinking about this. I need to be thinking about that. Y'all saw how he was with Danny Kane, and how he was with Day 26, and how he was with the other group he was with, Dream, and how he was with 112, and how he was with Total, and how he was with the other people that he was around. He is in full control of saying, this don't work, that work. You need to do this. I need you to work harder on that. I need you to get a vocal coach. We're going to get you a vocal coach. You need to do this. Change your look. It's not appealing. It's not what we're looking for right now. So I get it when he was like, oh, I need to approve all her looks. And if he says, okay, Cassie's going to attend this event with me, he's looking at her as his girl, but he's also looking at her as the artist. If you really look at it, Cassie became the front woman of Bad Boy, even though she didn't really release an album, but one, I think. I think she released one album and then a mixtape that was free. So, no. So it's very eye-opening when you think about it. You know, it's like how do you skate that line of of being personal to being business, and how it goes back and forth, and how it's actually hand in hand. You know, like sometimes you can't, and I feel like that's why a lot of times relationships that have people where the business and the professional mix, they don't last. And I'm not saying that Diddy and Cassie was going to last, because they had other issues. Okay, they had other things going on. But this was just another added layer to the onion where you're just like, damn. Like, y'all really had no way out. Like, this was doomed from the beginning. Like, it just is what it is, you know? So Nash was basically telling about the time when Cassie even told on the stand of her and Diddy getting into a fight at a hotel, and they were going back and forth, and Diddy pushes her, or somehow she hits the bed, and then she hits the edge of the I think it was the footboard. You know, like some beds have a headboard and they have a footboard. She hit the footboard and it created a gash. She started bleeding. Nash actually jumped on Diddy's back and attacked him, trying to get him off of Cassie because he kept trying to hit her. And I say this is probably the first man that stood up to Diddy, Sean Combs, and actually tried to help Cassie, that we are aware of right now on this stand. So I definitely commend him for that. And I can't take that away. Like, I can't. Like, that it is what it is. Like, he tried his best to help her. And, you know, and all I can do is commend him for that, because all the other stories, I've never really heard anybody trying to help her. But her friend that is no longer friends with her, but everyone else was either oblivious to it, or they turned a blind eye, or they were too scared to do anything. So, we shall see. You know, so this has been another Diddy alert. Look, guys, I'm tired. I've been up all day, and we're getting into the grit of it. I'm telling y'all, it's almost as if I'm working 5 jobs right now, because it's like, I'm trying to do this. I'm working my regular 9 to 5. I'm trying to like get things together for this channel, you know, and thinking of ways to market it and do things like that. Then I have to do the research for the videos, you know, to make sure that I'm actually talking about something that's worthwhile. So if you like what you're hearing, like, subscribe, comment down below, share this video, hit that notification bell if you want to know when I'm on or when I post or when I'm live, because like I said, I will be going live soon. So join me. Like, I would love to hear from you guys, and let's keep it popping. I had a whole blink right there. I was like, let's keep it pushing? No. But okay. It's been great. I love you guys. Let's turn it up down there in the comments, and you guys have a great day/night. Bye.
I like the way you move.